This is Algebra 1, it's Semester 2, and it's the unit called Inequalities Review. It's the Unit 6, and the lesson's called Writing and Graphing Inequalities Practice. It's the lesson number 2. It's on CreatorMathcom under the Algebra 1 tab. You might have to Google CreatorMath.weebly.com to find the site. The instructions are copy the following problems into your composition book on the correct pages according to the table of contents with the notes for those pages from CreatorMath.com. So I do try to show each time I make a video, I try to show how to find those notes. It's a little bit difficult, especially if it's the first time you're looking for them. So here's the name of the site. It's CreatorMath.weebly.com. And you're going to type that into Google, and if you get to the right place, hopefully you're getting to this home screen. Looks like this. If you have any questions about the composition book, you guys, I know it's complicated, but scroll down here until you see the words composition book. Please read all of the directions, watch all of the videos, adhere to the turn-in dates, put things where they belong on the right pages in the right places, and then let's go look at where the notes are under the tab for the class. So under the tab for the class, you're going to find 5 things. Number 1 are the notes. Number 2 are the practice sets like we're going to do right now. Number 3 is the video of the practice set, which we're making right now. Number 4 are the page numbers on the composition book on which the notes go. And then number 5 would be the vocabulary for the course. So just so you know, if you're not getting 100% on your vocabulary practices, you might not know that there is a complete PDF with all of the vocabulary we use in math for the entire school year. It is downloadable to your device, and then it is searchable by your device. Just Google, how do I search a PDF with whatever type of device you're using, and follow those directions. It's a little bit different depending on what type of device you're using. So then you're going to scroll down and find the proper semester. In this case, for the semester you're in, and you're going to look at and find the table of contents. The table of contents should be written into your composition book on pages 2 through 6. It's long. It's about 3 pages long, maybe 3.5. The reason I ask you to copy that in is because the all-important page numbers show up in the table of contents. So once you write the table of contents in, you should know exactly what you're writing on what page all the way through the comp book for the entire semester. All right? With that said, now we're going to go down and find the unit we're in. So this is a review unit. And it's called Inequalities Review right here. Here are all the lessons within it. There are 7 lessons within it. We're on lesson number 2 for this video. So we're going to look at number 2, Writing and Graphing Inequalities. Here are the page numbers on which these notes will go. Please don't take this video's word for it, as by the time you watch this video, these page numbers very well may have changed. All right. Now, there's no notes linked up yet. That'll be linked right here under the notes. The problems are linked. That's what we're doing. And the video solution will be linked right here also. Okay. So with that said, let's turn to the problem sets and move through those. So it starts out very basic and refreshing us. Given this, how do you read it? This is greater than. Students often know what it is, but forget it. So we're going to review. How is this read? Less than, right? And teachers talk about the small side means less than, the larger side means greater than. This one is greater than or equal to. This one is less than or equal to. On a number line, what's an open dot mean? An open dot means the value is excluded. So if you have a number line, right, and it's right here, let's say it's a 5 and it's an open dot. Maybe it's going off to the right here, right? The open dot does not include the 5. Excluded means the 5 is not included in the set. If we want to include the value in the set, we need a solid dot. So on a number line, what's a solid dot mean? It means the value is included. So same situation if this were a 5 and it's a solid dot, right? That means the 5 is included. And go back and look at different parts where we talk about inequalities and set notation. Now we're going to roll into that. So given a parentheses, what does it mean? It means the value is excluded. So now let's talk about set notation on this same one. Here's a number line, negative to the left, positive to the right, just like all number lines are according to our notation practices. Let's say this arrow goes off to the right. So this is a set. It's 5 and all numbers above 5. The way we write that using set notation is to use a parentheses. And let's keep this open here. I want to keep an open dot, not a solid, but an open dot. An open dot is a parentheses 5 comma plus infinity parentheses, right? So this is set notation. We've studied it before in prior lessons. It's not completely out of nowhere, but it does look like a coordinate location to students, so it can be confusing. Students are used to an x comma y inside of a parentheses. You have to ignore that whole notation. This is completely different. This defines a set from 5 on up to positive infinity, and the parentheses means it's an open dot. The 5 is not included. So now we go here and say, what's a bracket mean? So let's say we have the same graph, but now the 5 is included. So let's say this is now a solid dot here, right? Let's fill in the dot and go off to the right. Now the 5 is included. Now we use a bracket 5 comma plus infinity to define set notation. Now, why do we use a parentheses on the infinity? Because infinity is not a number, it's a concept. So it cannot be included. You'll never have a bracket on an infinities. Why do we have a positive infinity? Because it's positive infinity to the right. It's negative infinity to the left, you guys. Okay. And now they're going to give us a couple problems on that. How is this read? Positive infinity. It means off to the right. In a horizontal number line, it means up. It's if it's a vertical number line. How do you read this one? This is a negative infinity. Negative infinity is to the left if it's a horizontal number line, and it's down if it's a vertical number line. Is infinity a number? No, infinity is not a number, you guys. It's a concept. So contrast, let's say you said a really big number, right? You said a billion. So a billion is a number. That cannot be infinity because it stops at some point. Billion, right? What would be higher than a billion? 50 billion, 100 billion, 1,000 billion. I don't know, it keeps going up. A trillion, right? Anytime you name a number, that's a real number. But anytime you talk about infinity, it's a concept of things increasing forever and never stopping. And it can also be a negative increase, right? We could increase increasingly large in a negative fashion forever also, right? That would be going to the left on the number line. All right, given the following number line, how can we express what is being communicated in an inequality and set notation? Two notations here, set and inequality. So this is a negative 2, so we can say x is less than, we can say x is greater than negative 2. Okay, because here's negative 2, it's not included, so everything above negative 2 up to positive infinity forever. If we're going to put this in set notation, we'd say parentheses, negative 2, comma, plus infinity, parentheses. And if I could count here, 1, 2, 3, I'm so sorry. Minus 3 here. Apologize for that, you guys. I can't seem to count my tick marks. Here's 0, and here's 1, 2, 3. There we go. Okay, so negative 3, comma, positive infinity, that's set notation, and x is greater than negative 3. That is inequality notation. Both of these answers are correct. You're going to mark 2 answers. All right, let's move up to the next one. We're going to define set and inequality notation for this. So now it's still negative 3 here, but we have a solid dot. All right, so the solid dot is going to be a bracket, negative infinity, comma, positive, negative 3, comma, positive infinity. And that's going to be bracket, so here, that's set notation. And then inequality notation is going to be x is greater than or equal to negative 3. So everything above here, all the way up to positive infinity, this would be x is greater than or equal to negative 3. All right, let's do another one given the following number line. So this one's open and it looks like it's on 2. This is going to be x is less than 2, and this is going to be a parentheses 2, comma, negative infinity, parentheses. This is the set notation, so it's going from negative infinity all the way back here forever, all the way up to 2, but not including 2. That's why it's a parentheses. And it's x is less than 2, because starting at 2, not including 2, but all the way down. So this one here, x is less than 2, and parentheses negative infinity, comma, 2. Okay, and then one more. Let's see what else we got. Given the following number line count, how can we express? So this one is on the 2, but it's a solid dot. So x is less than or equal to 2. And set notation would bracket the 2 because now it's included, and it would go all the way back to negative infinity forever. Again, it's a parentheses on negative infinity because it's not a number, it's a concept. You can't use a bracket. You can't include it as a number. All right, so Parentheses negative infinity, comma 2 bracket, done. And x is less than or equal to 2, done. All right, let's see what this one is. Given the following number line, let's do the two notations for this one. There we go. So this looks like a 6. So x is less than or equal to 6. Why? It's a solid dot. And bracket 6 to include it, comma negative infinity. And notice how my brain writes it backwards. I start to the right here because I know it's including the 6. So bracket 6. And then I see it going down forever to the left. So I write my bracket backward going from right to left. It helps my brain see what's happening. Here's one answer. Here's the other two answers for this one. All right, let's see. Is this the last one maybe? This one starts here at negative 2, and it's open, so x is less than negative 2, no equals, because it's not solid. And it's going to be a parentheses negative 2, not included, because it's an open dot, comma negative infinity, and that's a parentheses. So parentheses negative infinity, comma negative 2, and x is less than negative 2. Both answers are correct in this case. And make sure you are matching up the title of this video, which is Algebra 1, Semester 2. It's the unit Inequalities Review, number 6, and it is the lesson Writing and Graphing Inequalities Practice, number 2, and it's on CreatorMathcom under the Algebra 1 tab. Hope that helps.